that really could touch everybody because
Yeah.
business is business, but I'm staying in my lane in terms of my niche, and then maybe I'll blow up after that.
Yeah, but absolutely, when it
Yeah.
comes to leadership and the way you talk and the way you carry yourself, I myself am picking up on a lot of those
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
because
I got you,
it's
James.
new to me, the content creation aspect of it.
Yeah.
I've been in SEO for almost 20 years. But when it comes to content creation, I'm taking a lot of notes for what you do.
Oh, thanks.
And
Well,
yeah,
we got the same coach too, so I want to hear about that trip with Dan. And
yeah,
so, ladies and
absolutely.
gentlemen, we're live. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. James, we're live on Instagram. Rock and roll. Everybody, I'm here with Timur. He's my good friend through the internet. We never met personally yet, but just chatting on Instagram. He's in one of my programs with Dan Martell. And just to watch him just excel through content creation, hear his knowledge in SEO, you've been inspiring me, Timur. So I wanted you to bring on my Instagram, on my podcast to talk to my audience with your expertise. And because SEO is something that a lot of people don't fundamentally understand, and they
Yeah,
just think it's keywords and they're going to stuff keywords onto a landing page, and then they're going to just create some AI generated blog, backlinks that don't really work. And all of a sudden they're paying $2,000-3,000 a month and they're not moving up in the ranks. And you're going to help us figure out how to really do it the right way. So
absolutely.
introduce yourself, please.
So yes, so my name is Timur. I built my first website and ranked it when I was 12 years old. I was always a techie. My parents got me my first computer when I was young, and that's about it. I come from humble beginnings. They didn't have money for anything else, so I'm like, okay, I gotta learn how to make money. I was always into building things. I taught myself how to code, and I was translating. So English is my third language. I was translating Photoshop tutorial articles to different languages, ranking those websites, and that set me off to this journey of building websites, ranking them, internet marketing. Yeah, so long story short, basically, I've been helping businesses dominate local search and national search. So it's two different aspects
Yep.
to it. And yeah, I'm going to demystify SEO for you because it shouldn't be that complicated. In the end of the day, it follows the same basic marketing principles, which is building a brand, making sure that Google's crawlers, the robots, when they crawl your website, they need to understand what it is about, your topical authority. If they can't make sense of the website, they're going to make assumptions. And
So
you
the
don't want.
structure, really having a good structure of your website.
Yeah, yeah,
And, and,
yeah.
and or your menu structured the right way, fast loading time. Now there's a
Yeah.
robot text file, probably a little more advanced for some people.
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
So the robots.txt, basically it's a guideline for all crawlers, not just Google, Microsoft as well, as to what pages they should index and crawl, what pages they shouldn't. So I'll give you a story. I had a client, they had a plugin for events, an events calendar. And this plugin created so many pages, and those pages added no value to the topic. So just by pruning this content, they got a huge boost in rankings. And I see a lot of this mess in other people's websites where they don't check the content that's out there. They're confusing crawlers. So then you can be surprised that you're not ranking well.
Yeah. So a lot of people, when it comes to local SEO, because my audience is more hair salons on a local level, not so much national.
Yeah.
And I like Bright Local, and I feel like Bright Local.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you think it's a good tool to use?
Yeah, so we use SEMrush. Bright Rock Local is also pretty good. My approach is principle first. It's not so much about the tool as it is making sure that you complete all the little details that you should complete. So, for example, Google My Business. On top of Bright Local, it's good that you manually enter into your Google My Business and optimize every little aspect of it. For example, one thing that for hair salons would be ideal, I believe, is the questions and answers section.
Ooh, nice.
So I don't know if a lot of clients are submitting their questions, but that should be encouraged. That's a great opportunity to rank higher in local maps. Which
So
I
could
believe
we
for hair
could we
salon,
also ask our own questions if we wanted to?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
So updates is something I like to focus on for my for a lot of my coaching clients. The update section in the Google business page. I've had one of my clients, she started ranking number one for extensions in her area, but she wasn't ranking for haircuts. And so we took a look at her business page. Every update was extensions, hair extensions. I'm like, well, change your updates and start talking about the haircuts you do. And it took her like 3 months and she was right up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a Google business page is probably the first thing I like to start with when I open a salon or I have someone come in my program, just to make sure that's optimized. And usually they're more focused on Instagram and their social media, which is really important. But I always ask them, what do you do when you're looking for something? You Google it. So for you not to optimize that business maps page or your business or your Google business profile, you're doing your salon a disservice, because everyone or most people will Google best salon near me or best
Yeah.
restaurant or best whatever the thing is that you do. Does Bing, Yahoo, and other search engines, if you optimize for Google, does it also
Yeah.
optimize for them as well equally, or you have to do some extra work behind the scenes for these other search engines?
So tools like Bright Local and SEMrush, they're great at distributing your information in a consistent format, because that's super important. You know, there's in local SEO, there's a thing that's called NAP, name, address, phone number. A lot of people like to modify the name of their business in Google Maps, and then it's inconsistent across the web, which actually reduces your likelihood of ranking higher, because Google started keyword stuffing versus brand building. So brand building is the future, and there's a lot of different trust signals that they use. I would definitely optimize for all those listings, whether manually or through a tool. The top ones I would say for hair salons are Yelp, which, by the way, we can talk about Yelp because they have an issue with sticky reviews. So I have a few insights about that. So other local business directories, definitely. So Google, Bing Places, I would do it directly for Bing Places as well, because the future is search AI and search GPT. So you want to make sure that you use all those tools, because Yelp works with Apple Maps, um, Bing works with all the Microsoft kit, and Google as well. So definitely you want to do as much of that as possible, but make sure that you're consistent in your name, phone number, and address.
All
Gonna
right.
be spelled out the exact same way, and the same thing on your website. So when you put your contact information on your contact page, literally copy it from Google My Business. You don't want to deviate from that format. Um, yeah.
If you guys are listening, get a pen and a pencil or a notebook out. Take some notes right now, because this is some high level shit right here. It may be basic to Timur, but a lot of you guys, if you fix these fundamental issues with your website and with your search, you will start showing up for people. And it's inevitable clients will be calling your salon or showing up for a haircut or a color. I want to talk about
Yeah.
two things you just said: AI and Yelp. Now,
Yeah.
I love AI. AI is huge. And now if anyone's searching for things, you're starting to see your search results now underneath that search bar. You're going to see an AI article or AI information being generated from information from a Google search. That's where
Yeah.
Google's pulling that information from, right?
Yeah, so the same way that you optimize for search question summaries, which the public also ask this question, so you see little excerpts of the questions and answers. So the same principles apply for AI summaries. So you want to show authority, you want to be hyper relevant to the question, so use the same language that people converse at, and other SEO principles apply. So you want to the way you are perceived as an authority in that field is literally by using language in your written content and even your video content. You say things like, from our experiments, from these case studies, from working with clients for this many years, from asking 100 clients. So crawlers nowadays will literally pick up on this language and perceive you as more authoritative. On top of it, when you create content pages on your website, answering those questions. So let's roll back a bit, okay? So
Okay.
there's a thing that's called Answer the Public. You have Reddit, Quora, you have auto suggestions. You want to look at what gets the most volume, okay? Then, based on those questions, you literally build blog posts as the question is the title, and you answer the days of overstuffing with keywords and writing extremely long articles are over. You want to be straight to the point, hyper relevant. You want to use multimedia on the page, so infographics, images. Avoid stock photos. If you want to stand out nowadays, use your own photos, because nowadays with crawlers they can see that.
And then put your meta title or your tags on the photos. Make sure you name them properly. That's important too, right?
Yeah. So there's so many things, and I don't want to overwhelm your audience, and maybe prioritize on what has the biggest impact, the quickest wins, and the lowest hanging fruits, which I see from auditing a lot of websites in multiple industries. So I actually have our internal SEO checklist. Might be too comprehensive for your audience, but if they follow me on Instagram and message me leads, I'm going to send them our internal checklist of all those ranking and trust signals factors for your website. So
nice.
Going back to those AI summaries and questions. So when you write this content, like I said, you want to not overstuff it with keywords, be helpful, use multimedia on those pages, and then interlink from other pages of your website. That's such a quick win. When you have a website, have somebody, you have plugins that can automate it, but you can do it yourself. Go on all other pages of your website. Whenever there's an anchor text that refers to the question about highlights, for example, you want to link to that article page, okay?
Yeah, internal linking.
Yeah. So internal linking, and basically you want to answer your audience questions. So on top of using Answer the Public and getting ideas for different questions, it's okay to review things that are, you want to build a topical authority. So even if it's not directly related to your services, you might answer someone's question, and oh, by the way, they notice that it's a local hair salon, and they might book an appointment with you. So there are different customer journeys, but over time, SEO, it's a marathon. Okay, so you need to slowly over time build content. If you're impatient or you get frustrated, then you're bound to fail, because it is frustrating. You have algorithm updates. You might be doing everything right, and for 2-3 days, your trackers will show that you're declining, and then you give it another couple days, and you're back on top. So you can't be reactive. My approach to SEO is very, very strong fundamentals. You write content that is optimized for search engines, but at the same time, it optimizes for click-through rates. So when you put the meta title and the meta description on the page, don't overstuff it with just keywords. Think of the people that are seeing the top 5 search results, and why would they pick your result? One, use emojis in your titles. This is new. Not a lot of people are using it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Emojis in your titles, that will help click-through rates, especially for hair salons, I believe. And then in your meta description, first of all, this is very marginal, but you want to use all capitalized sentences. So literally capitalize every word. It helps with click-through rates. Something in our mind when we look at results visually.
Let me see a question. Is Google going to change that ruling soon and like penalize people for that, you think, or no?
For capitalizing the description?
Probably not, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
cool.
No,
they do weird shit all the time. They change the rules, and I just want to make sure.
So that's exactly why I said you don't want to let Google do the work for you.
Okay.
You want to add all those SEO elements inside your page. There's a great plugin that everybody should use. It's called Detailed. It's a plugin that you add to Google Chrome or whatever browser you use, and it helps you see how crawlers perceive your website. You can see your H1s, H2s, the hierarchy of the page, internal linking, outbound links, alt tags. So just this quick audit, you'll find a lot of low-hanging fruit. So on the homepage, for example, a lot of people, they don't even use a hair salon plus city name. Okay, they don't use all their services as H2s, which then link to internal pages that describe the service.
Basic question real quick. So the H2 tags, let's say I want to search for, I'm searching best hair salon near me, and the H2 tags for the titles of those pages, that's what's going to, or help Google make it show up under my listing as like sub listings, correct? That will help that out?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
I had that in my notes as well for your audience. So hyper local content pages. Okay, so every market is a bit different in terms of competition. If you really want to stand out and have all your seats at your salon taken and have a system where you constantly have a lead flow, so on top of your paid ads, SEO, it's very stable and predictable. So the way I do it with local clients, we create city pages. So service name plus city page, okay, is the title. Inside that page, you want to be a bit unique. So you want to write something that is hyper relevant to this neighborhood. If you're familiar with local events that are upcoming or local festivals or stuff like that, so you want to mention it on the page on top of listing all your services. Then you want to have outbound links to authority websites. So I usually link to the governmental city page, okay, or a Wikipedia page, something with high authority domains. Now make sure they open in a new tab. Then another trick, take an embed of the map of the area that you're optimizing for, the neighborhood, and then embed that map on the city page. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Make sure you interlink to that page from all your other pages, and you'll notice that this city page will start ranking for people searching near me.
And so
without
we're
ever
talking about
mentioning
creating a
the city.
standalone landing page for each one of the services in Fairfield, New Jersey, talking about some of the events that are going on. And I could create tons of those, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I
for
want to talk about
example,
one thing
yeah,
too,
yeah.
in addition to this, because I'm going to be teaching this for my academy members. Have
Yeah.
you heard of Gamma.app yet?
Gamma.app? No.
Yeah. All right. James, can I share my screen? Yeah, you can. I could? All right. Let me see if Timur can see my screen here. All right. It's going to be crazy. Now, James, does that look crazy to you? All right, good. So we're going to go Gamma. All right. Let me go to ChatGPT. I'm going to show you something really cool. And I'm going to bring this full circle in a second here. Dan the Barber. All right. So we're going to say, I'm going to copy and paste this. Just pretend this is the barber, but I'm going to create a landing page. This Gamma.app is now an AI PDF builder and an AI landing page builder. So I can build a web page with this or a document. Let's do web page. I'm going to go over here. Let's do card by card. Split it up for me. We're going to pretend these are all relative keywords. The reason why I was thinking about this is you could publish this to the internet with my own URL. So I was thinking of creating like the best of Fairfield, New Jersey, and all my friends who have restaurants and businesses. I was going to create like voted best hair salon and create standalone landing pages linking out to them, standalone for my website. So if someone coming like looking for the best hair salon, not only will I show up on my Google business page, but this best of website will have a bunch of different links back to my main website with links to my blogs, links to products they can buy. And so if you look right here, this is a kind of building it out. It was a shitty build because I didn't put much work in, but I could publish that right here and give it a regular URL. Do you think this is a waste of time, or do you think it, like when everything's optimized on a website, it's just adding more value?
Yeah, so SEO, it's always an exercise of prioritization because there's so many things you can do and what is the most impactful one in the short term. So that's a very advanced move, creating a standalone best of directory where you use so offline SEO, I mentioned it here. What it means is basically your offline relationships, you try to bring them online. So you exchange links this way with local businesses around you. So makeup artists, event planners, especially as a hairstylist, I think you have so many conversations with interesting people as you work, and you both benefit by exchanging links and featuring each other in that specific neighborhood. So yeah, definitely that's a great idea, but I would first make sure that you your fundamentals are perfect, because that might be sufficient to surpass your competitors. Okay, what are the fundamentals? Basically, like I said, your consistency in the name, address, phone number on your Google My Business. Make sure all your social media is connected to your Google My Business. It's interlinked from the website as well. Make sure your website and your Google My Business is interlinked. Then make sure your titles and meta descriptions are optimized for click-through rates, not just for keywords. Then within each page, make sure your H1, H2, H3 they make sense. So avoid using contact us as a title. It's a great opportunity to say something else. You don't want to overstaff it, but you want to build a topical authority. Then original images, ditch stock photos, original images, change the name of the file before uploading it to your website to the keyword of the web page. Then include alternative text. Try to use multimedia on the web page, like video, and we can talk about social media SEO in a minute as well.
All right, I want to jump in real quick. You don't mind if I cut you off, right?
Absolutely, I love it. I feel like we might not have enough time.
Yeah. So I don't know where I want to jump with this. I'm going to jump here first instead. So you said edit all the images so they have a proper name.
Yeah.
Now I have a Shopify store. The reason why I chose Shopify, multiple reasons. A, I can create content and then monetize my content through the sale of a product. So if I want to run a Meta feed or a Google local shopping feed, I could run that feed through a 7-mile radius around my salon. I could convert you from a product of shampoo and then retarget you with the profit I made in the shampoo. So essentially, I'm not spending any money on marketing. And that's like my trick that I'd use to build my salon. Nice. I now have like thousands of products on my website that have all relative information for what people are searching for. So my SEO blows the regular salon out of the water because I just have so many pages that talk about shampoo, haircuts, and all of that. Now, if I were to edit the images for those products, would it hurt me if I had like best product in like Fairfield, New Jersey in that title of the image too? So I would have so many more like just images and like keywords for my local area. Would that hurt me or would that help me?
So I think that would be considered a little bit of overstaffing.
Okay.
You can use it, but on your main parent landing pages for your main services. Inside the regular products, you do want to rename them for what it is. They are. The brand name. Yeah, what it is, the brand name, what that will do. Basically, search images on Google. You'll start ranking through the images search, which means you'll send more traffic to your website. More traffic to your website in itself is a ranking factor. So when people run ads or they do other things on social media that bring traffic to their website, it helps their SEO because Google sees it's a website with traffic that people interact with. So when you have your Google Analytics set up, you want to look for bounce rates and you want to look for engagement and interaction with your website. That's why original photos, multimedia content, optimized for mobile, all those things are trust signals.
Okay, here's the advanced move now. I don't know which question to ask before. So we talked about the Gamma app I showed you as the advanced move.
Yeah.
Now, SpyFu, you know SpyFu, right?
Yeah.
So if I see my competitors ranking for stuff I want to rank for, could I create these standalone landing pages to start getting above them in what they're showing up for and start now using that Gamma app to start publishing tons of different content out there to show above them in the search?
Yeah. So the way we approach SEO internally, so we have a client that want to rank for this specific term. The first thing I do is go and do an incognito search from different locations around. And then I take the top 5 search results and I try to see what is unique about them, how they structure their pages. And then I model first. And then you add your own unique touch. So AI content shouldn't be published before human edits it a bit. Okay, so I would go as far as to say that there's a website that's called copyleaks.com. We use it internally to evaluate whether search engines will perceive it as too AI-ish. And then once, sorry, I lost my train of
copy links for AI.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I have a lot of AI blogs, and I tell ChatGPT, make this appear as if it's written by a human. And then what I do is I take it, open a new chat, and I ask ChatGPT, did a human write this or AI? And then I'm like, well, rewrite this so it looks like a human wrote it. Then I open another chat, and it's like, this could be written by a human. Then I know I'm good. If you wanted to do a lazy man's version of it, that's how I do it. But I
Yeah,
also make sure that every single blog article has a link to a product or another article to make it the user experience a little more friendly on my website. So I have a
yeah,
customer journey going through each blog.
yeah, exactly. On your blog post, you always want to have a related post, or people also ask about this, or people are also interested about that. So AI content works when it's very simple. It answers the query clearly, and like I said, the web page itself is well optimized with multimedia integrated in it. So you can go as far as to use AI to create those infographics to simplify the concept or the answer that you're talking about. Um, yeah. So copy leaks definitely helps. It adds another layer of verification, but you don't have to go that far. Like I said, SEO, you want to look at your competitors, model what they're doing, add your own unique touch, your own unique photos. Don't use stock photos. At the same time, you want to look at what backlinks they're generating, right? So SpyFu gives you their backlink profile.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
want to hear a hack that I got from somebody?
yeah.
So
Let's
when
hear
you
it.
go through someone's backlinks, you take a look at all those different backlinks for one of your competitors, see which of those blogs that haven't been updated, or if there's a broken link to something that they might have, like one of those people wrote, and then send them the new article from your website. And you just reach out to the backlinks to give them the new
Yeah.
content to post.
Yeah, so that's definitely an advanced technique when it comes to backlinks. So SEO, to break it down, so you have your website, you have backlinks, you have social media presence, and content marketing, which helps with backlinks as well, and content that you yourself want to build to answer to build your authority in that field. Yeah,
Question for you. So if I
yeah,
create YouTube content, long form, short form, and I have a blog on my website, would it be beneficial for me or would it help me if I take my YouTube video and use that inside of my blog and I write an article based on that? So now I have the YouTube video embedded in that blog that links to my YouTube channel just to kind of keep everything cohesive.
absolutely. So YouTube, it's a Google product.
Yep.
Google, they love when you use YouTube, when you use, so Google Search Console should be on your radar, Google Analytics, and Google Ads. Okay, so this content repurposing is something I love doing with the people that create content, because you don't need to start with the written content. You start with your video content. You use an app like Descript. You take the transcript, you turn that into an article, and then you publish it.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I do. And then I make that into an email campaign that leads back to a blog. I take a snippet, make that an update on
Yeah.
Google. And I tell my clients, all you need is one video that you speak in, take that transcript, and you create 15 pieces of content out of that
Yeah,
using AI and every one of these platforms.
absolutely. I think your students are getting very good information. I've seen your stuff about ads and retargeting as well. So absolutely, you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
So
now I'm glad I'm not full of shit talking to an expert like you. Yeah, because people get overwhelmed and they make it so like difficult for themselves. Just
Yeah.
be an authority, speak with authority, take that video transcription, turn that into a blog, turn that blog into a newsletter, turn that newsletter into an update on Google, and you literally just spoke for 5 minutes, and the rest of it was being done for you through either an app or AI, or even a virtual assistant can handle that for you.
Yeah.
Now with
Absolutely.
ChatGPT, like you speak 3 languages. And so I'm
Four,
sure that
four.
you're
Yeah.
better in one language than another. So for your
Yeah.
English, this is real cool about ChatGPT because I have a Spanish speaking client who has literally no English grammar. I'm like, do everything in Spanish, then put it in ChatGPT and have them translate it for you. Don't sit here for an hour trying to correct your blog.
Yeah.
Just have AI do it.
That's such a limiting belief
Yeah.
for people that English is not their mother tongue. They think it's a limit. I thought that for the longest time, and it's simply not true.
No,
You
I
can
mean, I mean,
do
it's a superpower speaking more languages.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah.
I speak English, like 3 words in Thai, 5 words in Japanese, a bunch of Spanish words, but I can't really carry a conversation on too many anymore from living all those places. All right, so if you
Yeah.
were to start from scratch, someone hacked your website, completely deleted it off the face of the internet, and you have to start a business. And I also want to talk about this for people who have Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and all these other platforms they rely to get clients from. Like, you also have your website, which is a huge attractor of clients in your area that you don't even focus on. Like, if you're just solely focused on Instagram, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So if
Yeah.
you, Timur, if you someone hit reset on all your stuff and you have a business, you want to get your name out there locally, we're talking.
Yeah.
Take me through the first 5 things you would do.
Yeah. So first 5 things. So first of all, absolutely. Do I keep the domain name, or you want me to take a scenario where we have to start from scratch?
Shit.
And do I have a name for my business already or not?
Yeah, you have it's an existing business, 10
Okay.
years, super popular. You keep the domain name. You were able
Okay.
to receive that.
Okay. Yeah. So I keep the domain name. So first of all, I build a website. You can use a template that's mobile friendly, first of all, because I believe most of your traffic nowadays is mobile friendly. You set up a site hierarchy, a site map. So you have about a homepage, about us, a contact page, book an appointment, all your services. Okay. And then products if you also sell products online or it's an e-commerce store. So you want to build that website. You want to, like I said, people can send me a message in Instagram. I'll send them the SEO checklist. So I'll make sure my website is well built. It looks good. It represents the brands. It communicates the unique values that we have, and it uses unique photos. Okay. Second thing, I would go to Bright Local or SEM Rush. I would submit my local listing, get verified first of all. Right now with Google My Business, it's a bit more complicated. You need to go and shoot a video of the store, so it's not as easy, but that would be the first thing. And then I would get friends and family and your clients to leave reviews on it as soon as possible and mentioning the service that they used. And when I'm talking about offline SEO, a lot of business owners, they shy away from that, but it's on you. You should go the extra mile always. And what I like coaching my clients on is before you even start the project, it's like, hey, listen, we're going to do the best we can. Okay. We're going to throw this extra thing for free. If you're happy at the end, would you please help us by leaving an honest review online? Okay. So get them to pre-commit. It went from 2 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 people leaving a review for my clients, at least. So reputation. So website, listings, then all your social media presence, all your listings. So you have TikTok SEO, you have Instagram SEO. The same principles apply. On your bio, you should clearly state what you do and the city that you're in. Just that in itself is going to help people find you. Afterwards, throughout your content, when you write your captions, same principles apply. You want to mention the services that you use, the city and the area that you're featured in, and the same thing with hashtags. Okay, so set all those. Make sure I include my Instagram feed on
Take
my
a minute
website.
to write the captions, everybody. Stop being lazy. Put a little work into that. It's important. All right,
It's all those little things, you know. The only way to do SEO well is a ton of little things done well. The only way to do a great job in general, I think it's a lot of little things done well. So that's why I'm saying it's a marathon, and you can create a 90-day roadmap and tackle one thing every month. So 1 month you audit all your social media, 1 month all your listings, all your local listings, another month you do your website, and overall you'll see that things are improving. Okay, so afterwards, then fourth in importance, I'm going to create a hyper local landing pages. But okay, no, you know what, for hair salons maybe I wouldn't use that. Then I would think of how am I unique? Okay, what unique things can I do locally online on my website that will engage with my audience more? So what I like to do is you can do interactive quizzes. Okay, so for example, now with AI you can find tools that allows your clients to upload their photo and maybe imagine how they look with different styles. You can build a page with that tool. People love tools, whether it's calculators for different businesses or quizzes or questionnaires, something you run ads to it and you optimize it, you interlink it through your website. So that in itself should generate a lot of engagement with your website that will help with ranking you higher. Okay. And the fifth one is building offline relationships, exchanging links with other people. So when you have a makeup artist and you write about a beauty article, okay, you link to her or him, and they link back to you. So you build those real authentic relationships, you help each other, and over time, if you continue doing it, if you are on top of your game and you continue building those relationships and looking for offline opportunities to do it, then you'll surpass your competition. Most people don't do like even 20% of that, so it's you'd be surprised at how effective it is. And when you're successful and you really want to stand out and you have the resources, I would donate to local communities, events, kids' schools, stuff like that. And they have websites, and usually schools and governmental websites have very high authority. So just make sure that you ask them to link back to your website. So those are the top 5 things I would focus on if I had to start from scratch.
I like that. I like .edus, like local colleges. There's 2 things I like to do. So if you're watching right now and you're in a salon or a barbershop, but mostly salons because sororities, but you could take fraternities too. I like to link up with someone in the sorority to either do a model day, do an event at your salon, get in with the person who writes for the school publication. Now they don't use newspapers, it's going to be online. So maybe do a guest spot, do a weekly or a monthly blog coming from your salon that links from that .edu website going back to your salon because that's authoritative. The next thing I want to chat about is going to be Yelp, because you mentioned Yelp before, and Yelp is like, I just don't like Yelp. It helped my business years ago, but it just, they have so many reviews that people left me 5-star, they don't show them.
So you're not alone. I hope nobody from Yelp is watching this, but
I hope they do watch it, because I tell them all the time, I'm not using your platform anymore.
Okay.
I would advertise on it, but you guys are garbage.
I absolutely agree. You're not alone. All my clients, they want to ditch Yelp. They're angry because good reviews, legit reviews, organic reviews are not sticking, and then negative reviews, they usually stick, and they can really tank your ranking. Then, like I said, Apple Maps, they do connect with Yelp, so it could affect you. My approach is always, don't get frustrated. This is the game, okay? You gotta find a way to deal with it. So when you ask people for reviews, never link directly to your Yelp profile. Never. That in itself is gonna almost guarantee that they don't show your review. So you tell people to go to yelp.com, search for your business name, and then leave a review, okay? So that helps the stickiness. Absolutely. And linking directly to your profile, Yelp they see it. They see that the entry point was your profile, and that means that you send a link to somebody. So that, along with other language that people use that might not make it sound authentic, they remove it. But don't get discouraged. It is important.
I use a QR code in my salon. The trick that I do is I give away a free treatment, like a hair treatment. And as someone's sitting in a chair, I have a nice little flyer set up, and it's like someone's beautiful hair at the sink, and that shows the value, all the things, the benefits of this mask, $55 value, yours free, just leave us a review. And they scan it, show your stylist a review, 5 stars, yours today for free. And it just helps get reviews. So we went from like maybe 80 to 280 in a matter of a couple weeks just by doing that. And I just solidified my #1 spot in the Google Maps.
Nice. Yeah. So by the way, reviews, you want to encourage your clients to add photos to their reviews. That's correct. And on top of QR codes, right now you have cards with readers, with the scanners, electronic scanners. So people just put their phone near the card without even scanning. Yeah, they tap it without even scanning for a QR. The review pops up. And so reputation is important. And I will... there are a few other things for Yelp in terms of language. I will include them in my SEO checklist, because that applies for all other reviews websites. You You have other websites that use the same algorithm as Yelp for stickiness. So in my checklist, I'll include the language your customers should avoid when leaving
Nice.
reviews. Yeah.
So I'll give you some background on me because I don't think me and you really talked about my background. I was 27 and I was on the beach in Dominican Republic. I was like, I want to find a job where I can work from anywhere in the world. And so I was like, I'm going to start a website. So I got home. I was living there for like 4 months. I paid this kid. It was $11,000. This is over 10 years ago now. Just about,
Mhm.
no, almost 20 years ago now.
Hmm.
So 11 grand was a lot of money for me. He built it on Drupal. Remember the old Drupal websites back in the day?
Yeah.
It was a community site. Because in my mind, I wanted to build a community and I want to build an e-commerce store together to help like really get traction and sell products.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Like he didn't teach me anything about the site. It still had the Drupal name on the bottom. I had to pay to get Drupal off. I'm like, dude, I paid you
Wow.
11 grand. You can't just pay for the theme for me. And we had a falling out. Had somebody else do it for 7,000. Didn't work either. I was like, fuck this. I got a book in HTML. I sat there on like Text Wrangler and I started coding from scratch in
That's
I
awesome.
believe it was a WordPress site. And I
Yeah.
just started coding my own website. And then I wound up linking up with somebody on Upwork in the very beginning stages of Upwork. Actually, no, I'm sorry, before Upwork.
Yeah.
We linked up on a forum and me and him were just chatting on the side. And I was paying him as a virtual assistant to coach me through how to build a website. And so I built my own website within about 6 months and I just wasn't able to monetize it. I had no idea what I was doing. And I went on this painful journey of learning how to make money online for like 10 years before I ever made a dollar online. And I made, well, that was all organic. Then I started with Shopify. My first 3 months, I learned about Google Ads. I spent, it was $98,000 in 3 months running Google Ads because they kept on giving me my updates, like the recommended updates. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
recommended budget, recommended update. Next thing you know, I'm spending $1,000 a day on ads, $2,000 a day on ads.
Yeah.
I was getting sales, but I had no idea about what my ROAS was. I was doing free shipping, free returns. And so I was doing revenue. I just wasn't profitable because I was spending so much to acquire the customers. It was absurd. Fix that problem. I think I went like 300,000 in debt my first year trying to sell products online.
Wow.
And it took me like, I'm still like digging, I'm almost out of it now, but trying
Yeah.
to run the salons, trying to keep the business going. I kept everything afloat. And so it was like a painful last couple years of my life to get there. And I learned so much from SEO to running ads. And this is e-commerce for salons. And so now when I take it to my local SEO, my regular salon website, I just dominate anyone in the area. It's just such an easy thing to do now.
Yeah.
So in Florida, within a matter of months, we're number one. And then
That's
when
awesome.
I opened a new
Yeah.
location, I sold my old business to my partner. And within a few months, I outranked that old salon because I learned so much on how to do it.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm not that smart. Like, I'm not a tech guy. I grew up doing hair, then I went to the Marine Corps. So if I can do this, all of you guys can do it. Here's the thing though, if you are better at doing hair and this doesn't excite you, like this excites me, I really enjoy it. But if you just love doing hair and it excites you, then you hire someone. The first thing you need to do is learn the language. So Timur has the doc for you. DM right now.
Yeah.
Get that document, learn the language, learn what he's saying. Then you hire someone. I'm not sure if your agency is too out of the scope for them. Do you help local businesses on this level?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have packages that are for local businesses. We can definitely help. We have a done with you and a done for you package. So yeah, we can
Cool.
definitely help you avoid frustrations, mistakes, and focusing on the wrong things because there's a lot.
Yeah. So if this makes you dizzy, shoot Timur a DM on Instagram. I tagged him in my stories for those of you who are watching. And if you're watching this after this live and you're watching the podcast version, Timur, what's your handle on Instagram so they could find you?
Yeah. So it's Timur Grig, Grig. So Timur Grig. Yeah. DM me leads and I'll send you our internal checklist. and I would be happy to answer any follow-up questions or help anybody else that needs it. And
So
that's a great,
Timurgrig.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Timur Grig. And that's a you're a true warrior, doing ads and sticking to it and doing it for so long. It takes tenacity. It takes like a mindset shift. That's why I love your mindset stuff, because things don't come easy. Necessity is the mother of invention, and the fact that you had to go and learn all those things yourself, it's the same thing for me. I like to know how to do all those things. The secret right now is to step into a leadership role, which wasn't as easy for me because I always was the contractor behind the scenes doing the work, jumping in to put off fires. So the constant need to learn and grow through trial and error, it's the best business school you can find.
Yeah. So for those of you guys, me and Timur are both part of Dan Martell's coaching program. Timur, you just went on his the Jet Set, right? Jet Set Mastermind.
Yeah, that's it, mastermind.
And so I'm on the live calls, and all of a sudden this guy Timur with an accent comes on there. He's literally asking the same question that I have, and my hands raised, ready to ask it. I'm like, son of a bitch. This happened like 3 times to me. And I'm like, we have the same kind of questions. And it's like, it's so refreshing to see people on your entrepreneurial journey, and you're not alone. So if you're not in a coaching program, get yourself in a program to give you just the support mentally, the support with the skills, the leadership you're going to need. Timur, so you have a coaching program too, right? Like so done with you? Is that more of a coaching?
Exactly. Done with you. Right now, the format is a one-on-one monthly. Okay. I might do a group format in the future, but yeah, I'm trying to add more value to more people. So far, I've been working very integrated with my own clients, companies, and right now, I think there's an opportunity for people that are looking for coaching and to save time, like your students, which must be saving so much time and frustration by listening to an expert that's done it. Then yeah.
If James is watching this, James from Florida, he's I think in his young 60s, and he hired someone from Upwork to handle his SEO. She's doing his Google business page, doing his updates. Someone set up his Bright Local for him. She's also managing a Bright Local on the back end now. And he's completely stepped into the role of being an entrepreneur in 2024, almost 2025. All this was foreign to him. And so just me showing him Upwork, me showing him the fundamentals, me teaching that curriculum, it gave him the language so he can actually hire somebody. So it's just go to YouTube, listen to people speaking about SEO. It will sink in. Like a lot of this stuff might be foreign to you that me and Tim are talking about, but it's a necessity because you're spending money on the lease. You have employees that you're paying. Money's going out. For you just to invest a couple $100 a month just to build your business, it doesn't make sense not to do it. It just doesn't.
I love it. It's what's the opportunity cost of you not knowing something? So you gotta get on it as soon as possible because you're leaving money on the table. And I like Alex Hermos's value grow or die. Yeah. And it really is like that. And some people, it might make them feel uncomfortable. But if you're in business and you have big goals and you want to help your family, your immediate community, and leave an impact, then you just got to accept it. You got to step into it. And I learned also with Dan when it comes to like entrepreneurship, from Jet Set Mastermind. There are so many takeaways. The biggest one, I would say, it's not so much in the doing, but it's in the being, that you become successful. And you might hear it different times in your life and it might register or not. To me, what it means is it takes a complete paradigm shift. Sometimes we obsess about not doing enough. But when he speaks about being, it's first of all confidence in yourself, confidence in your consciousness and your motives and your intentions. Okay, and then by stepping into a leadership role, you reflected, you're connected with yourself, and you know the type of future you're trying to live and bridge the gap between your imagination and reality. And if you focus more on the being by working on your future vision, on your goals, on your values, on the people around you, We always have two voices. We have the voices like the hedonistic voice, and then we have the voice of like fulfillment and long term. So the more I optimize uh, for fulfillment, the more easy it is to remain in that being where you're able to consistently wake up and show up. I find that before the SEO techniques, before the business growth, this is the first thing. Everything depends on your ability to show up consistently and show up after spending $300,000 and getting in debt and going back at it. So I'm not saying that everybody has to go and make those mistakes. You can
Don't
find shortcuts,
learn
but
from mine, please.
yeah. But unless you realize that it's going to take, first of all, reframing a lot of your limiting beliefs, and through repetition, mental repetition, meditation, creating your vision, constantly putting it in front of you, until that's really like becomes an integrated part of you, it will be very hard to keep showing up consistently, because it's at this point it's easy to show up for a week, for a month, but are you willing to do it? Are you committed for the long run?
Yeah, I'll give you guys some timelines here. So I'm looking at almost 2025. This is going on. I looked at some of my my YouTube channel, one of my posts. It's been 9 years me trying to be successful at all of this. And had I actually focused on one thing and didn't like spread my focus out, I probably would have been there already. And I look at Alex Hormozi, I look at Dan Martell. I love both of those guys. They're such a positive influence on business and entrepreneurs. But I look at them and I get pissed. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, what the fuck am I doing different? And you said it. They're being. Like, they spent the time I spent wandering around for 9 years trying to figure it out, and I was just not being the person I needed to be. They stepped into that role and they became that person. And that was the only way they were able to find success, is because they lived it to their bone. And so recently, after I got Dan's program and I hired a coach and I hired a mentor, I started looking at how they were showing up in every area of their life. It wasn't just the business, it was how they showed up at home, for their family, for themselves. How you do anything is how you do everything. And honestly, like, that's one of the most true statements you should really stick to as an entrepreneur. How you do anything is how you do everything, because it's going to affect every aspect of your business. And so if that's one quote you want to live by, or one quote to listen to that you should live by, it should be that quote right there. Because you were with Dan. I got to get up there for one of those masterminds with him. But
Yeah,
you were on the whole thing. It was a long trip, right? It was a couple days.
Yeah, we spent 3 days. We met Ben Newman at First Form in St. Louis. Then we went to Nashville to the Greatness Factory, and I've seen him with his media team, and I've seen how he leads. And basically, it's amazing that when you really step into that leadership role and you focus on being, you're able to be present with your team and work through them and let them come up with the vision and the goals, because then that makes them self-driven, and that really is how he interacts with his team. You gotta care about them, their personal development, professional development. It creates such a fun environment to work in. They're having a lot of fun. It's serious and all, but they are having a lot of fun, and it was just beautiful to watch.
That's awesome. I gotta get there for that.
Yeah.
All right. So anything you want to add, how people could find you, anything you want to add to the people listening right now, to the podcast listeners, to the live listeners, anyone?
So yeah, you can follow me on Timur Grig on Instagram. My mission is to add as much value as I can without holding anything back in the coming years. And I'm just starting to document my journey. I'm in the beginning. So I hope to come on this podcast again in the future with a lot of breakthroughs and just sharing my journey. On top of it, like I said, I'd be more than happy to send you our internal checklist, which might be too much, but like I said, create a roadmap, tackle the top 5 things that I listed first, and then if you're still not beating the other 3 top competitors, then ask me. I might be able to give you other advice. Other than that, Nick, I really appreciate you having me on. It's one of my first few podcasts.
We're trying to do this for a while.
Question to you.
Yeah.
Did you take vocal coaching, or is that just innate?
No, well,
You
I
have a
had a
great
speech
voice.
therapist help me one time, but you know whose program I just bought?
Who?
Um, Vin. He's a Vietnamese guy. I always mess his name up.
Mm,
Hold on one second. I'm gonna send him to you right now. Vin. Ask Vin. Vin
ask
Gang.
him.
He's I believe he's from Vietnam. His page. Where can I send it to you? I'm gonna send it to you right now. I just sent him to you on Instagram. I just bought
Mm,
his boot camp class and his other class. So I've only been in it for like maybe 2 weeks now.
mm.
He's the GOAT when it comes to speaking on camera and using your voice as a tool. But thanks for
Okay,
that compliment.
awesome. I was sure you took vocal coaching because you have a great voice and your delivery and the way you communicate. Yeah, I think your students are lucky to have you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get better at speaking, but thank you for noticing that. That was a great
Yeah,
compliment.
yeah.
All right, Timur, we're definitely going to do it again. A guy you should check out on YouTube is Scott Redgate. He's in your space. He has a lot of good content. You can get some great ideas from him. So you guys can pair up on another podcast.
Yeah.
Scott Redgate, he's awesome.
Good.
He was my coach a couple years ago for SEO.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking to set up a mastermind for top SEO experts actually. So
He's
appreciate that.
he's the guy then. He will definitely he'll add so much value to that conversation.
Awesome.
All right, Timur, it was
Yeah,
awesome
that's
spending
me.
time with you. You have a great rest of your day. When this is all done, I'm going to send you the raw version of it, and I'll tag you in any of the snippets that we got.
Awesome.
All right. Have a good day,
Appreciate
brother.
that, Nick.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
Awesome.
Bye.
Later, man. James, you good?